Welcome, Bone Storm, to week 4 in review. I'm Matt Dickey, and this is Kevin Heath looking down at his phone because he's not ready.
I'm ready.
Slacker. How's
Yeah.
your week?
Sucky.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Lucky. Yeah, I'm gonna have to really dig deep for this one. They had the old school HP day with Oktoberfest, so we had beer and bratwursts and pretzel bites and all kinds of good things. So Maddie had a couple of brews and was ready for nappy time at about 3 o'clock.
How is that different than any other day of the week?
How dare you? All right, let's get to the recaps. Monster. Let's go to here we go. And
You do know they make speakerphones so you can talk while driving?
you know what? I know that, but I don't have a Bluetooth in my old Honda, so I can't answer while driving, dum dum.
You can't use the phone?
No, I'd have to stop and pull over. I was in the middle of traffic. What do you want me to do? It's like it was an emergency. You weren't having a baby. I know you may look like it sometimes, but you're not
Stop
now.
and pull over to hit the speaker button?
Yes,
What do you do when you want to change the tuner?
I
New
don't. I
station.
leave it on. I got my headphones in with my iPod. I just let it roll, baby. I got podcasting. All right, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Good. Week 4, welcome to it. Pay attention to the picture for Todd in the left upper hand corner of the red rifle. We'll get back to him in a minute. Let's go to week 1, Kevin versus Kevin, the battle of the 2Ks.
This was brutal. This was a heartbreaker. I watched the scores go up and down all day long. At the end of the day, I had still lost like I did now, but it was much closer. I think it was like 0.9, not even a full point.
Yeah.
But I was praying for scores to change the following day, which they did. However, not in my favor. I lost another 4 points or 3 points, and I ended up losing to Mac, be your daddy, 134 to 130. Super close, as we'll see in a few games here.
That is right. Yeah, let's talk about your game first. So you had the Phil Rivers with the odd throw go for 26. He outdid his projection. That's awesome. You had Christian McCaffrey tear it up with 33.9 very nicely. Devontae in respectable 18. Mark Andrews with 13. You probably would have been more if the Ravens didn't get blown out by Cleveland. No one saw that coming. 0 for Devin Singletary. Yeah, it's
I
called
checked the night before, and
you
I
know
had
how many
no one
people
else
are going to
anyway.
laugh about that? I checked the night before. Don't you know anything? How long have you been playing fantasy football?
Yeah, but what am I going to do the next morning?
They release those things an hour before the game
Okay,
starts.
what am I going to do if I have no other players?
First of all, you got to back him up in case you think he might not play, dude. This is in-season management 101 so far. F for Kev. On the other side, you got Mr. Clemens with Carson Wentz doing 25. Leonard Fournette with a body blow of 29. Emmanuel Sanders from the Broncos, 17. Very nicely done. A close contest. The victory goes to Mr. Clemens. Tight one. Next up, we got my mama versus the great Cornholio, or as we know him, Jason.
Okay, this one was a little close. She still took care of it, and might I add, she is the last of the undefeated teams. She is still 4-0. The other two ladies lost, but specifically here, she takes down the great Cornholio, 124 to 113.
Exactly. Yeah. So Jay started out well with that Thursday night game and Aaron Rodgers, 31 points, very nice. But then we jump to Sunday where Cleveland just destroys Baltimore. But his number one, I don't know if he was number 1 or number 2 pick, OBJ gets him 4. 4, dude? 4? This is what you expect out of your number 1 or 2? The Texans helped him with 19. On the other side, my mom, her favorite guy, Russell Wilson, only gets 16, underperforms, but then David Johnson overperforms. Jarvis Landry overperforms. He took all those catches from OBJ, obviously. And then Cortland Sutton, my goodness, dominating performance, 24.2. Congrats to my mom, 4-0.
All right, next we've got one. Let's see, we've got Space Herpes who improved to 3-1, 148, beating Terry by 20 points. The Gentlemen's Four Quarterlies. Again, that score 148 to 128.
Yep, I like Space Herpes starting Kyler Murray. He underperformed, but big day for Cooper Kupp, 28 points in that loss to Tampa Bay, 14 points for Allen Robinson, very nice. 27, that Patriots defense, you know them well, Mr. 45, just killing it still. Of course, they had Buffalo, poor shuffle Buffalo after they knocked out the quarterback. On the other side, you got your poor sister. James Conner has a great day with 26. Chris Carson, 20. Mike Evans, 20. 19 for her Chargers. Certainly respectable and still falls. I mean, it's just 2 steps forward, 1 step back report. Terry, let's hope she rights the ship this week. Next up, my game.
Okay, and another super close one. Of course, sun always shines on Matthew. He still squeaks it out, even though the Wild Poopers were projected to get, I don't know, like 20 out of that guy on Monday night. Couldn't get more than just a couple. Matt ends up winning 124.4 to 124.1.
Yeah, I'm sure anybody that looked at the score going into the Monday night game when Tyler Boyd was lining up thought, this is going to be over pretty quickly, including yours truly. I did not want to look at the score. I just thought I'm going to watch the game. And I'm not going to count exactly how many, but if he gets enough or if he gets a touchdown, I'm certainly finished. So I was hoping my Steelers would do well. Well, they didn't just do well. They destroyed that Bungles offense. So that was really good for me on the last day. I had a good start with it with Austin Eckler with 29, 23 for Kenny Golladay. Stupid Ravens. You couldn't even have the self-respect in your own house. Minus 6.8, you hurt me for crying out loud. I don't care if you give me 0. Minus points? On the other side, Matt Ryan, 17, underperforms. Ezekiel Elliott underperforms. Thank goodness that Ezekiel underperformed. Every time they dumped it off him, I kept thinking, stop, that's a point every time. Dalvin Cook, this is a rarity. Exactly what ESPN predicted, 19 and 19. Adam Thielen, not Thielen. 14 points projected, 2.6. Same thing with Tyler Boyd, 16, no, 6.3. Delaney Walker, 12, no, 1.4. Mohamed Sanu, he overperformed, as did her Bears, 24. But all came down to that Monday night game. Tyler Boyd, sorry about that, Cat. I got the win. Next up, Show versus Yoel Stacy's wife.
The only blowout of the week, the Shit Show puts up a monster. Is that the first team to break 200 this year?
I think so. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it is. That is a monster score. I mean, Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Lamar Jackson lost 30 points. Nick Chubb came on his coming out party, 43.3. Chris Godwin, 43.2. 2 people on his team scored 40 points. Wayne Gallman, in place of the injured Saquon Barkley, 27.8. Clemens, might want to back up Saquon if he's your number 1 guy. Not that he's yours this year, but whoever has him, you should have grabbed his backup. 19 for the Saints, just huge score. Don's team did not come to play. Dak Prescott in that loss, in that field goal fest against the Saints, 6.6. Alvin Kamara, only half what he was expected. Keenan Allen, really quiet from last week where he had like 40 or 50 points against me or some ungodly thing. And then on our bench, Jameis Winston with 40 points, just looking at her laughing. Not that he swung it, but still obviously funny to look at. Next up, we got the Lisi Strasses versus Todd. And, I've been waiting for this, Kev. Set it up.
Oh, my gosh. Again, another close one. 1 point decides this one. The Lisi Stratus finally gets their first win, 136.6 to 135.6, bringing Todd to 1-3. That is a tough one.
This was second only, and I mean like a 1A to how happy I was about my win. I hadn't even been paying attention to his game. I didn't even look at the score because I was focused on mine. We start with the Lisi Strasses. Deshaun Watson, 25, nope, 11. Todd Gurley, 26, very nice. Devontae Adams, 30 in that big game, even though he's hurt now. Aaron Jones, a nice 17. So pretty solid outing for the Lisi Strasses in good position. Now, she goes into Monday night with the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, who I believe Todd said, and I quote, will shred the Pittsburgh defense come Monday night. Well, I don't think 2.6 is exactly shredding, Todd. Take that to the big toe, dummy. 18 points for Will Dissly. Robert Woods tips in with 31. 19 for the Cowboys. Not enough, Todd. And the flipping cherry on top, on his bench. Who? Wait. Josh Allen, that's who I'm looking for. 5.7. If you started anybody but the Red Rifle, you win. That is just great news. Thank you. Next up, we got the standings.
All right, we've got Brockway, the Wild Poopers, alone at the top at 3-1, followed by a two-way tie for second. The Shit Show and the Stone Cutters, both at 2-2. You, sir, are tied for second and last. Ogdenville, the Malibu Stacies, even with their loss, is still way out front, 3-1. The Lacey Stratus and the Punishment Dude, their game made it a two-way tie for second and last, both at 1-3. We got North Haverbrook, your welcome Daddy Mustangs. His 2 wins come from me. He's 2-2. And both Jason and I bring up the rear. Camp Krusty and Cornholio, both at 1-3.
That's what you guys excel at, both bringing up the rear. Go on to Springfield.
Finally, Springfield, the Braille Bombers, as I said, still perfect at 4-0. Space Herpes, a close second at 3-1. And the 4 Quarterlies sit alone at the bottom at 1-3. Now, I will say that everybody has at least one win the first week of that.
Yep.
So everybody's no skunks here, which is good. But another thing is, you look at this, there's like a few teams who have just powerhouses and a bunch of us with losing records. If I've done the math right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us have losing records, and another 4 have 500, including Kevin Clemens, who with a 2-2 record is leading the division.
Yeah, it's way early. I mean, we're only 4 weeks into the season. As you know, this is going to go a long time before anybody really starts to separate. It's all still really close, but I think Brockway is clearly the strongest division, at least thus far, with either a tied or winning records all by themselves.
Let me guess. Which division are you in?
That happens to be Brockway. It's not my fault we're good. I can't help it. We got 3 powerhouses, and that whoever dares to meet us in the playoffs might be in some trouble. Moving on. Free agent auctions, very quiet. I overpaid again by $10 for Darwin Thompson, who I drafted, so way to do that, Dickie. Mac Daddy grabbed Deebo Samuel. He loves his Niners. And the great Cornholio gets the Eagles defense. Nice one. I wanted to get them, but you grabbed him already.
I like that your theory was I'm not going to touch anything until week 4. Week 1, 2, and 3, you're a madman. And then week 4, you just overpay for a guy you ended up drafting originally.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that, and you're exactly right. But that'll have to be that'll be some long, hard conversations with our scouting department come the end of this season. Okay, so let's look ahead to this week, which has already started. Sorry, guys, we're late. Wife was down getting a little box ready from St. Francis to send off to Gabby in Wisconsin, and that was only one night, so it was only that Wednesday. So sorry we had to push it out. Apologies. But the game's already started with Seattle and the Rams. I don't know where they're at, but I know that Seattle turned the ball over and the Rams had it, so we'll see where it goes. But for this week, we got a sister versus brother. Your sister is projected to win at 136. What do you got to say about that, or do you want me to just go into it?
You could go into it. I mean, the score right now is 3 to 1.1, so not exactly a barn burner shaping up on this one, but it's still only Thursday.
Yep, exactly. So I really enjoyed the highlighter thing on my little snipping tool because it helped me on finding out the last round, and so it's going to help me here. I pointed out some wins. Baltimore, questionable. If Mark Andrews starts against Pittsburgh, he's been a really good tight end for them. He might do well because Pittsburgh has struggled with tight ends before. We didn't with Tyler Eifert, but we have before. You got Phillip Rivers going against Denver. That should be a good game. You got Christian McCaffrey, 23. He might break that again like he did last week. He just have a huge day. Whereas your sister has Tom Brady going against Washington. That's got to hurt, dude. Washington is almost as bad, if not as bad as Miami. So that should be a huge day for him. Although, who knows? Knowing Bill Belichick, he might run the whole game for all we know, right? But I'm sure Brady would like to get back because he didn't have a good week last week. I'm sure he's looking to rebound. Mike Evans, big day against New Orleans. That's a division game. I think that's a division game for them. T.Y. Hilton looking for a nice day there, and so it should be a fun week between you two. Always good to see family rivalry. Next up, we have the undefeated versus the unfortunately named Joe's team.
Space Herpes. Yeah, we've got two strong teams, both with winning records. Space Herpes coming off of yet another win. He's at 3-1, going against the undefeated Braille Bombers, who's projected to get lower this week than her competition.
Yeah, tell me what the live scoring is right now. We'll do that since we're watching the game.
Okay, this is Space Harpies and Braille Bombers. As of right now, Braille Bombers have nearly 23 points already.
Oh, snap.
Space Harpies at 0.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, maybe the Space Service doesn't have anybody going. But, no, they have Cooper Cup. So with 0, he's got nothing from Cup yet. Mama's starting to dominate already. So Russell Wilson projected to get 23 against the Rams tonight. David Johnson in Cincinnati. Now, will Cincinnati try to stand up after they were embarrassed on Monday night? Or will they be beat down and David Johnson gets to have a good day? Evan Ingram looking for 14. He's been a really strong tight end for my mom. Kyler Murray on the other end. Against Cincinnati again, is he going to have a feast that day, or are they going to try to shut him down? Michael Thomas for New Orleans. Will Teddy Bridgewater get him the ball? Cooper Kupp, can he recover today and get that 17.2? And, of course, the Pats defense at Washington, always dangerous. They are just playing out of their minds. They're probably going to destroy Washington. Let's see if it's going to keep it as low as that 15. I predict closer to 20 or above. Next, we got, oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't like this matchup.
They are projecting a blowout on this one. This will be interesting. We got the Stonecutters versus the Shit Show. It says you have a player going so far, and you have 0.
Who do I have tonight? Oh, Tyler Lockett. Yeah, he's got to get some passes. Come on. He's a slow roller. I'm okay with that. We got Pat Mahomes at Indianapolis. I like that for 29. Tyler Lockett tonight. He better get 16 or above. Travis Kelce, we're going to have a long conversation, pal. You're my number 1 overall. And in 4 weeks, you haven't proved to me that you've earned that spot. Let's see if this week you can. Now, Christian Kirk, I'm going to move out. He's questionable, so that's why they have nobody there. And Darrell Williams, even though he's only predicted 3.2, that's if they have a different starter. So that may change as we go on. On the other hand, God, Lamar Jackson against Pittsburgh. I sure hope we can do what Cleveland did to Baltimore and shut them down, but it could be an ugly day if he starts to go up. Nick Chubb, against San Francisco. That's going to be a great game. That's next Monday night's game. That should be an interesting one. I don't know if he's going to get 20 or if San Francisco's going to shut him down. They got a really good defense right now. And Chris Godwin, who is challenging Mike Evans for the number 1 spot in Tampa Bay. Next up, we got another brother-sister matchup.
Oh, God, look at this projection. Ouch. So this has got the Wild Poopers projected to get 140 versus Todd's 106. I don't know if he had a full
He doesn't have a quarterback.
Okay, and Wild Poopers don't have a full lineup.
Yeah.
And Punishment has 2 people going tonight, it would appear, and he has 1.7.
He's got Disley and who else? Oh, Robert Woods. Duh. Okay. Well, it's early in the game. We'll see if he can rebound. On the other side, you got the Wild Poopers with – I got to move this up because I can't see everybody, so I'm going to move it right here. Matt Ryan for 23. Ezekiel Elliott for 22 against Green Bay. That should be a good game, the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. I look for that to be a fun game. Dalvin Cook, does he just roll over the Giants? Adam Thielen, the Giants. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention, which you probably haven't been because I know you. Adam Thielen kind of called out his quarterback. So there's been some words between he and Kirk Cousins, and a lot of people are expecting Thielen to have a big week that Kirk Cousins is going to go deep.
Well, isn't Kirk Cousins been a complete bust so far this year?
I wouldn't say a total bust.
I read an article.
Okay, you read an article. I don't say 100% bust, but he's definitely struggling right now, so we'll see if he gets it back. Tyler Boyd, does he recover? I don't know. Punishment due? Who knows who's going to be his quarterback? We shall see. Probably not Andy Dalton, at least at this point in time. He's got Robert Woods today, who's his bright, shining star. The rest of it, Todd's in a tough hole right now, but he's used to tough holes. Next up, we got the Stacys versus the Lisi Strasses.
Yeah, so Malibu needs to add somebody to her lineup to have a full one. She is projected to just a little bit under the Lisi Stratus. Lisi Stratus, though, coming off of a big win last week, gets her first win, trying for her second. As of right now, the Lisi Stratus has 1 person in play, and she has 4.3 points.
Yep. So I read today that I believe Dallas is without their left tackle, so Dak Prescott might have a difficult day. They're talking a lot about running with Zeke more than they throw, but who knows? That could just be conjecture for now, and maybe he has a huge day. Kamara against Tampa Bay, the division game, that should be good for him. Keenan Allen hopes to rebound from his mediocre performance last week. On the other side, Deshaun Watson, 24 points against Atlanta. Atlanta hasn't been playing that great, so that may be a good day for him. Fitzgerald, let's see if he goes off against Cincinnati in that weak defense. Aaron Jones, 15 points. He's looking like a very decent, solid running back right now. And Sammy Watkins, will he be the wide receiver du jour for my man Mahomes to hit? this week. I'm sure that Lisi Strauss is hoping so. Next up, we got Kevin versus Jason.
Yeah, Jason, for a team that's 1-3, they certainly like his players. He is slated to get 142.1 to a very close 137.8. I'm looking, they both have players going tonight. However, neither of them have found the scoreboard, both still sitting at 0-0.
Yeah, they do like Jason's players. Aaron Rodgers, obviously, 22 they're looking at. OBJ for 17. Julio at 19. I think Julio was his first pick, if memory serves. So, yeah, he's looking to go after a strategy of his two big wide receivers and them getting a bunch of points, and Julian Edelman hopefully picking up the slack against that horrible Washington team. Whereas Mr. Clemens is hoping Carson Wentz against those hapless Jets has a big day. Le'Veon Bell, or Bell at Jets. Running behind the Jets line is not running behind the Steelers line so far for him. Leonard Fournette should have a good day against Carolina. That should be a good matchup. And Marlon Mack should have a good day against Kansas City. They're going to have a tough time stopping him. This one could go down to the wire. Could be anybody's game. Should be a great matchup. Oh, and that's the end of it. Look at that. Now let me stop sharing so we can see our beautiful faces again in the big screen. So let's take any closing thoughts or final thoughts before we end this broadcast tonight. Look at you. Just look at you. You're starting to look like somebody. You're starting to look like a black actor, like maybe David Allen Greer's who you kind of look like with that stupid-looking beard you have.
No, I just haven't shaved this week. See, this is me after a week, not after your Christmas vacation break. That's about 3 weeks. I can't help it.
Shaven today.
I got testosterone. No, I was trying to figure out what Michael Scott said to what's his name? Ryan at the end of the remember the meeting where he goes into the thanks a lot asshole or whatever it was when he kidnaps the pizza.
Wait, was that the one where he said that he wouldn't help Michael in the bathroom when he burned his foot? And he goes, and Ryan, said he was dead, but he's obviously not dead.
No. This is after Ryan's the new VP or whatever it is. He gets Jan's old job, and he thinks they're going to have the launch party, and it turns out that Michael has a online invite, not an actual.
Right.
So he goes back and kidnaps the pizza kid.
The pizza guy, keeps him.
Yeah, but when they go to get final words or it was an introduction for each of the managers at each of the sites, Michael gets on there and calls him an asshole or something.
All right, I'm going to have to find that clip for next week because I can already hear Todd and Jason turning this off going, we don't watch that stupid show. We just watch sports and maybe South Park. Don't talk about that stupid stuff.
The classic comeback is Ryan calls him later. He's all, hey, Michael, thanks for the shout out.
Ryan was the best. What was it? Dunder Mifflin 2.0. Have you taken care of that sex offender? Yes, we've done that. That was the greatest thing ever. If you haven't watched season, 4?
I don't remember.
I think it's season 4 of The Office. Go do yourself a favor. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Okay, we already have our Monday night date with Terry. That's on the books. Jason, you still owe me a Sunday, so tell me what Sunday you're thinking about. We can all get together so we can get it on the calendar and get it planned. Other than that, I think we're good. I would say set your lines, but the game's already started tonight, so hopefully you have. Good luck on Sunday. And, Kev, anything else before you head in?
No, I had fun on the Smackboard this week.
Yes, you all did. All piling on Dickie. That's okay. I got broad shoulders. Bring it, you bunch of troglodytes. Okay, so with Kevin E., this is Matt Dickey signing off. Kev, take us home.
Stay classy, Bone Storm.